Hello out there, and welcome to the Stat Room. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so before I get into this video, guys, let me introduce myself. Guys, I am Vonnthestatman. You can follow me on Twitter at Vonnthestatman, and guys, check out the website, Vonnthestatman.com. And if this is your first time watching me, guys, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my future videos. So you know I don't like to waste a lot of you guys' time, so let's get right into it. All right, guys, so before we get into this video, guys, I'm going to do witness protection. Let's get into the guys who let us down this week. The guys who were supposed to lead us to glory. Let's put them in witness protection. Football is a game of wills, ladies and gentlemen. One man's will against another man's will. And on Sunday, these three players' will was not on display. So let's start off with you, Mr. Adams. You're supposed to be the #1 receiver in the NFL. You're supposed to be the $50 million man. But on Sunday, you were the $1 man. And you, Mr. Ridley, every talking head said, Ridley gonna break the slate. He gonna give us 30 fantasy points. And on Sunday, you only gave us 7.6. And let's talk about Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, the guy that deflects blame, that points the finger, that didn't want to be a part of his team activities. You didn't want to show up to training camp, and you didn't show up on Sunday either with 3.3 fantasy points. So you three gentlemen are in witness protection. Got y'all guns out. Thought sun's out, guns out. Guess it must have been a foggy day. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this episode of Witness Protection. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed that episode of Witness Protection. And guys, put in the comment section the guys that let you down for your fantasy, guys, because we all had guys that we had high hopes on and they let us down. So put those guys in the comment section, but don't put guys in the comment section that had an injury, because that's just a part of fantasy. All right, guys, so let's get right into these quarterbacks real quick, guys. Now, Murray is at home against Minnesota. I like him in this matchup because Murray can run it, he can throw it. Murray is going to be one of the top fantasy quarterbacks this year. Wilson is also in a smash spot, ladies and gentlemen. He's home against the Tennessee Titans, and you saw how Tennessee fared against Arizona. They're going against the same kind of quarterback in Russell Wilson. The only difference is Wilson is at home. Next, Brady is home against Atlanta. I think Atlanta's defense is going to rival the Dallas Cowboys defense of last year, guys. I think that they're going to be all-time bad. Tom Brady is going to be up big. I'm not even sure if he's going to play the last 5 minutes of the fourth quarter because it could get ugly in Tampa. Allen is on the road against Miami, guys. I think this game is going to be competitive. And this is actually one of my upset picks of the week. I think that Miami could actually beat them. Now, on the flip side of that coin, Allen has had some of his best and biggest games against Miami. And as you saw last night in Thursday Night Football, Daniel Jones had his best games against Miami. So will Allen do the same against Miami, since it's a team that he always do well against? Prescott is without wide receiver Gallup. Now, Gallup is an excellent route runner. And when you have Gallup, Lamb, and Cooper, it's hard to double team any of these guys. But with him out, that means the tight end should be more involved. But Dak still has a lot of weapons. I think Dak is going to ball out. I love Dak in this matchup. Hurts is someone who I told you guys would be one of the top 5 fantasy quarterbacks on the season. I haven't changed my stance on this. I don't care if it's San Francisco or not. Since he can run the ball, he's going to be running, he's going to be passing, and I'm going to be running Hurts in a few of my lineups. Now, Winston going up against Carolina. I think Winston's going to have another solid day because, as you saw last week, the Jets were able to move the ball, and they had a rookie quarterback. So Winston is not a rookie. So believe you me, he will move that ball. But the guy that I'm going with, guys, is Herbert. I like this Herbert-Dallas game. This is a game I'm going to have a lot of exposure to, guys. I'm really feeling Herbert. I think Herbert is in position this week where he can get you, I'm thinking, at least 25, 30 fantasy points. This should be a 4-touchdown performance for Herbert. He might actually even run one in. Let's look at Herbert's numbers real quick, guys. Now, look, last week he had 1 touchdown, but he threw for 337 yards against Washington, who defense to me is overrated after watching them. He didn't really run the ball, but I expect him to maybe run once or twice this week. So Herbert is the quarterback that I like. Now, at the running back position, guys, I'm not going to go McCaffrey. I think he's too expensive at 10,000. Going up against New Orleans, and they shut down the run. Cook, I think, is one of them sneaky running backs this week. A lot of people are going to be off of Cook. He actually could break out against Arizona. Kamara should have a pretty solid day against Carolina, but their defense is much improved. Chubb is going to have probably 30% ownership or more, and rightfully so. He's going up against Houston. But guys, don't sleep on Houston and Tyrod Taylor. I expect this game to be a lot closer than what the talking heads believe. Not feeling Henry in Seattle. Mixon is going to have a breakout year this year, guys. And I'm not afraid to run Mixon against Chicago. I don't want no parts of Elliott. I do like Montgomery. But the running back that I'm giving you guys is Taylor. Now, Taylor had 14 fantasy points last week and didn't even get in the end zone, guys. Look at this. 17 for 56. He will have more rushing yards this week, but he had 7 targets in the passing game. If you give him at least 5 targets every week, sign me up, guys. I expect him to go for 22 plus this week. At the wide receiver position, guys, you got so many receivers. Hopkins had 2 touchdowns last week. Godwin had a big game last week. Cooper had 2 touchdowns last week. Ridley was off. I say he bounced back this week. Thielen had 2 touchdowns last week. Diggs had an average game, but Pittsburgh keyed in on him. Miami is going to key in on him again. Allen, I like him this week. Jefferson, not sure how I feel about him. Lockett should have another decent game, but I'm giving you guys Allen Robinson. And Allen Robinson is one of my favorite wide receivers on this week's slate. And the reason why, Andy Dalton is going up against his old team. And Andy Dalton has heard all week how he stinks, how he's bad, how he's this. He played against the Rams defense, guys. Now, the Rams, he was able to run the ball. And one thing about the NFL, if something is working, you stick with it. So since they were running the ball, Dalton didn't have to do much. He's going to come out and throw this ball against Cincinnati. Dalton is actually somebody who I like in the $1 million contest because he could throw 3 touchdowns and break the slate. Now, at the tight end position, guys, it's a lot of tight ends on here. I like Waller, matchup proof. I will play him against any defense, even the Steelers. He won't have 30 fantasy points, but I expect him to still get 20 because he's going to get 16 targets. Gruden already said he's the best player he's ever coached. And for Gruden to say that, he is definitely a good player. Kittle on the road against Philadelphia. I like Kittle this week. I think he's going to be pretty solid. Goddard, I like him better than I do Kittle because he's at home, and I think that he's going to get a lot of them busted plays. That's like when the play breaks down, and then Hurts is just running around, and Goddard is going to find a hole in the defense, and Hurts will get him the ball. Gronkowski should have another big game. I'm thinking another 5 to 6 catch performance, and he'll probably get you about 60 fantasy points and another touchdown or 2. Font is in a smash spot. Higbee is in a smash spot. Cook is in a decent spot. But the guy I'm going to give you guys, no one is going to consider playing this guy. And I'm going to give you Njoku. I think he's going to be the number 1 tight end for Tennessee before the season's out. Look, he had 5 targets, guys, 76 yards. I think he gets into the end zone this week. Baker Mayfield is going to be a top quarterback this week. I put him top 10 this week. I think Njoku, home against Houston, I think he gets into the end zone. I think he's going to get into the end zone, guys. I think he's going to break one. I think he's going to have about 80 yards and a touchdown. I'm really liking some Njoku. So run him up, guys, with confidence. Now, at the defense position, guys, remember, I build my lines with defense first. But for the sake of this video, I want to put the defense in now. But when I'm building my lines, I go defense first, tight end second, quarterback third, then I grab my 2 running backs, and then I get my wide receivers, my tight end, and then the flexes, whatever money I have left over, pretty much. Now, you got some really good defenses here, guys, but the defense that I am going to run this week, guys, I'm running Denver. I believe Denver is going to get a lot of pressure on Jacksonville's rookie quarterback, and now they have both of their pass rushers to play this week. It's going to be a long day for the first round pick. I like Lawrence, but against Denver, I think he throws some more picks this week and maybe even a pick 6, maybe even a strip sack fumble. So that's it, guys. You got Denver, Njoku, Robinson, Taylor, and Herbert. All right, guys. So thanks for watching the video, guys. If you made it this far, please hit that like button and please subscribe, and welcome to the Stat Room. Love you guys.